Jab, lean back, jab.
Coaching the next generation at this boxing gym in Glasgow.
Jab, push, 1, 2.
Sean Lazzarini remembers when the Games were hosted in the city 12 years ago and is looking forward to them returning.
Jab, jab.
I was working in a clothes shop. I think I was like 15 or 16, and it was in Circuit Hall Street, and I seen all like the athletes and all that stuff all over the place, and people were getting photos and all that stuff from them. And then obviously I ended up being the Commonwealth Games and winning it.
Excited about it?
Yeah, of course I'm excited about it, yeah. Buzzing. That a jar of wasps.
Justice Aber is number 1 in his weight class in Scotland. He'll be watching the Games this time around, but is hoping to compete at the next.
Obviously I know a few boys that are on the Scotland team as well, so it's like I'm going to be supporting them. I'm 100% sure we're going to come back with some medals. I've lived in the city my whole life, and it's like when it comes to the Commonwealth Games, it's massive. Like people are going to be coming in from everywhere.
You will be arrested under Section 21 of the Anti-Social Behaviour Scotland Act.
But there are challenges. Antisocial behaviour has led to police dispersal zones. There was a devastating fire near Central Station, and the city's main square has become a giant building site. That and road closures like these, part of a long-running regeneration project.
We've had one of our worst years. They've literally shut off my entrance. You can't even come in.
Businesses like this one have been hit hard and have taken to social media to highlight the disruption.
Through COVID, through snowstorms, rainstorms, everything, I kept the doors open, and this work is now putting a big question mark on the longevity of my business.
Is Glasgow ready for the Commonwealth Games?
I hope so, but with the lack of, what can I say, proper planning, proper leadership, I don't think it will be ready.
Glasgow was asked to step in at short notice when the Australian state of Victoria dropped out. The council says it's always been clear that significant redevelopment work would not be finished before the sport begins. The Games organisers say they are confident the city and its people will deliver.
Glasgow's an incredibly experienced major event city, and when we needed someone to step in and host the Games, there was no other place in the Commonwealth could do this. But what we've basically done is invited ourselves to someone else's house to put on an incredible Games when they were having a makeover, and that's something to be celebrated. We're getting the city ready for the future so that it can host more major events for years to come.
One unofficial part of that makeover is tackling the litter.
I'll grab the cigarette butts and the cider can here.
Pride in their city, the main driver for these volunteers.
Yeah, I think that the city centre has gotten a lot of love, maybe around the venues, but I think you can easily take a little wander off into a different street in a little alley and you might not see a very good picture.
It's a city that just needs a wee bit TLC at times. But I think most cities do suffer from that.
There will be fewer sports than in previous Games. Bowling has made it in.
Oh, what a shot! Shots again.
But mixed feelings on the greens here about the Games coming back to Glasgow.
I just don't think the city's ready for it. I think the state of Glasgow city centre's a disgrace just now.
It's a good thing. You know, after the Tartan Army's exploits in America, you get to see one of the major cities being presented to the world yet again.
You're going to go? You tempted?
I'm actually going on holiday, so no.
No.
You're not going to Melbourne, are you?
A challenging Games in a changing city, but hope that Commonwealth sports will be the winner. Lorna Gordon, BBC News, Glasgow.
Delighted to say we're joined now by two-time Commonwealth champion Sir Chris Hoy. Chris, morning to you. Good to see you. Tell me, what is the joy from a competitor's point of view and then from the position you're in now of the Commonwealth Games?
Good morning. Well, the joy for me was getting to compete for Scotland. That was the unique part of the Commonwealth Games, and it was also my first foray into a multi-sports games environment. So some of my greatest memories from my career were during the Commonwealth Games.
And now you're not competing.
Well, now I think it's just continuing this legacy, this amazing sporting event. It's unique. It's different to the Olympic Games or the World Championships, and I think you see athletes competing in their home nation jerseys as well. That's obviously a big part of it. But you look back to the Games at 12 years ago here in Glasgow, and it was an incredible event. And I'm sure that Glasgow are going to put on a fantastic show, even though it has been at late notice, but yeah, it's going to be, I think, an amazing Games we'll all remember.
Do you know, I remember being there for the Commonwealth Games for this programme in 2014, and the atmosphere was buzzing. It was fantastic. And it really was brought alive by Glasgow. There are some concerns, and, you know, as a Scot, tell us how Glasgow's going to address those concerns. We heard from Adam in our film before you saying, I just don't think the city's ready for it. I think the state of Glasgow city centre is a disgrace right now. People need to get behind this, don't they?
People do need to get behind the Games, and I'm sure they will. And there's always negative stories before the start of every major championship. And then as soon as the competition begins, it's all forgotten. So I have no doubt that Glasgow will put on a fantastic show. The people are excited. And yeah, I think we will forget all these concerns the moment the competition begins.
What was it like when you were in Glasgow in 2014? Did you ever get any time to kind of travel around and you know, just walk the you know, in the city and just get a sense of the vibe from the people around it?
Yeah, it was incredible. And it was my first Games on the other side of the fence, not as an athlete, but to be able to see other sports and to really take in the atmosphere. And it genuinely was an incredible Games. The people were excited. There was a great atmosphere in the city centre, not just at the sporting venues. So, yeah, I think I wholeheartedly believe it's going to be a massive success. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Chris, morning to you. It's Charlie here in the studio. Good to see you there. Can I just ask you, Chris, if you hark back a little bit in your esteemed career, people talk about legacy in relation to athletics events, Commonwealth Games, Olympic Games, and that can be infrastructure or it can be people. And I'm just thinking back, do you remember a time when, I don't know, the little boy Chris Hoy saw an event somewhere, was it an Olympic Games or Commonwealth Games, and went, do you know, that's me on that track?
Well, Charlie, it's funny you should ask that. Actually, it was the Commonwealth Games. It was 1986 in my home city in Edinburgh, and that was the catalyst for me. And since then, obviously, took up BMX and then track cycling, and I'm one of the people who benefited from the National Lottery funding. The National Lottery has invested over £1 billion into Glasgow since 1994, over 14,000 projects. So I benefited from that National Lottery support. We look at the facilities that have been supported by 3 out of the 4 major facilities for these Games have been supported by National Lottery. So, yeah, I think the support we've received and Glasgow has received is all down to the players who've supported it. So thank you for that investment. And yeah, I think the legacy is the people, it's the athletes, it's the future generation of sports people who watch these Games. And then could be the spark, the catalyst for them.
Yeah, and I know, Chris, you're at a community centre where you're speaking to us from this morning. I dare say there may well be young people there. Who knows? Maybe you, as an elite sports person, can spot them. The ones who've got the thing that will mean they're the stars of the future.
Do you know, the thing that I look out for when you're looking for future athletes or with potential, it's not necessarily how they perform today, but it's when you see them fail, you see them fall down, you see them, you know, not achieve their goals. It's how they bounce back from that, and I think that's not just in sport, it's in life as well. And this is just one of many community projects that are funded by the National Lottery. So, yeah, I think it's great that it's not just about sport. It's obviously about the arts, heritage, community projects. But yeah, I think it's building character and it's giving children and young people a bit of hope for the future.
Yeah, and on that theme, Chris, you will know very well by now, and I know you're relatively modest in relation to these things, what you have done since your cycling career has inspired so many people about how you've responded to what's happened to you and your family. On behalf of everyone watching, we do this pretty much every time we chat, don't we, Chris? A check-in about how you're doing.
Thank you, Charlie. Yeah, I'm doing really well actually. And yeah, when you're in a situation like I'm in, you know, I've been given an incurable stage 4 cancer diagnosis. You don't look too far ahead. You have a plan for the future, but you try and remember to make the most of today. And that's what I'm doing and what our family's doing. And right now, it's all good. And trying to enjoy all the things that are happening this week leading up to the Commonwealth Games. And I'm sure I'll have a great time next week as well at the Games themselves.
And do you know what, Chris? I absolutely, wholeheartedly endorse everything you're saying there, and it is inspirational. And I know you've inspired a lot of people who've been caught in the same condition you have. And I hope you don't mind us mentioning Dermot Monaghan, who is obviously a presenter on this programme and a friend to many people here. We got a lovely picture on the screen now. You probably can't see Dermot smiling with Mike Bushell at one of the many cycling events he attended. Dermot loved his cycling, and you and him were the best of friends, weren't you, for all sorts of reasons?
Yeah, we met through cycling, but actually, ironically, it was our respective prostate cancer diagnoses that brought us together over the last couple of years. So I was absolutely devastated to get the news last week. He was an amazing man, a great broadcaster, a great friend, and he was a passionate cyclist, as you say. He was part of the Tour de Four event that we put on last year, and he would have been there this year. So we're all incredibly sad to hear of his passing, and my thoughts are with his family.
And I'm sure they'll appreciate that as well, Chris. Chris, are you getting on your bike at all lately? I mean, you do ever look and just think, maybe I could get back on the track, maybe I could squeeze, no offence, get back into one of my old outfits?
Absolutely not, Naga. Leisure cycling is what I'm doing just now. Although, having said that, I did ride across Spain a few weeks ago. I did a charity ride from coast to coast from San Sebastian to Barcelona, 750 kilometres and 12,000 metres of climbing in the Pyrenees. So I still push myself, but yeah, I know which side of the fence I need to be on next week when the games start, that's for sure.
It tickles me, Chris, that you call what did you say, 750 miles? You call that a leisure cycle? Or that in no other
kilometres,
world?
just kilometres, Charlie.
Okay. Oh well, in that case, look, there's a great atmosphere. I can hear the people behind you, the youngsters there. Good luck with the games. Enjoy. I'm sure the people of Glasgow will too.
Thank you.